In this video, we're taking a look at how owners and managers add work assignments for their staff using Aero Workflow app. We'll focus on the tools available here on the Manage tab for creating work assignments for staff. Let's assume your company has installed Aero and your staff have been trained how to log in and entered their time on the Add Work screen. Now you'd like to set up work assignments for your staff so that their work is performed consistently and so that you can give your employees the resources they need to complete the task, and so that you can track the status and time associated to the assigned work. In this video, we'll show how to create work assignment activities in Aero. We'll create a new one from scratch, we'll duplicate an activity from another one, and we'll save an activity in the template library for future use. To create a new activity, you simply click the New Activity button and fill in the relevant information about the work assignment. You can access the New Activity button from either the Manage Work or the Manage Client screens. If you're on the Manage Work screen looking at all of the work assignments scheduled for all clients and for all staff, scroll down underneath the list of activities and click the New Activity button in the bottom right of the screen. Next, you'll specify which client you're adding this work assignment for. And then click Add. Or, if you're on the Manage Client screen, looking at all the work assignments scheduled for a particular client, click the New Activity button in the bottom right of the screen. A message will confirm that this will create a new activity for this client. Click OK to proceed. Both of these New Activity buttons will lead you to this pop-up screen called Edit Details. The top section lets you specify details about the work. Let's do this together. You can attach a document to the activity. You can specify a short descriptive name for the activity. You can specify the activity type. Pick your client contact if there's a different one. Select whether the activity is billable or not. Assign it to someone in your firm. You can pick the role. Here we're going to play the role of PR clerk, payroll clerk. Pick the payroll item wage if you're using payroll in QuickBooks Desktop. Select a different priority if you think this one warrants it. The status is by default not started. And if you're using classes, you can specify the class. Then you can use the income calculator over here to track the income associated with work assignments. This section is not integrated with any billing. There's no harm in entering data here. It will not invoice the customer. It's purely for management purposes. This is an important factor to watch as staff begin performing work, and you want to watch whether the actual time is exceeding the estimated time. And it's especially helpful for managing recurring fixed fee work. So we'll enter a billable rate, the estimated hours, here we'll say half hour, how many estimated hours per month. Here I can click the quick link and say that this is weekly, and it will calculate that based on 4.3 weeks per month. And Aero will calculate for you the estimated income and estimated monthly income. Next, we'll schedule the work for a specific date and time. Or if it's recurring work, you'll enter the start and end dates of the period in which you'll perform the work. For example, the contract period or the calendar year. This message is telling you to go below to the recurring checkbox if you want to set the recurrences. Once you've scheduled the work, then you scroll down and you can set all of the steps and the descriptions and links to websites and resources and procedure guides and solutions, all of the resources that you want to give your staff to perform this work efficiently and effectively. So let's fill in some of these steps. When staff complete each step, they check the box and the text here is copied into the time tracking notes. If you have a lengthy or private text related to a step, you can enter that description here and it will not copy into the time tracking notes. If you have a web link to a website that's involved with the activity, you can enter it here. This allows your staff a quick link that they can click and open the site when performing the task. Here I've added a link to a Google holiday calendar so that when the person processing payroll is looking at whether there was a holiday to pay, they can quickly look and see if there was a holiday scheduled during that pay period. And I've also added a link to the online payroll software that the staff will use to process the payroll. If you have links to YouTube training videos or procedure guides or documents, you can enter those here in this Help Links column. If not, you can use Methods Solutions table, which integrates with Aero. So here you can click the Solutions link to view and find all of your solutions and find one that describes how to do this work. In this case, we're going to use solution number 20, and I'm going to enter that here. Next, you can add comments. These are internal. They're not included on the time tracking notes, and therefore they would not pull into an invoice, but they may be information that you want to get across to the person doing the work. You can also set the recurrence pattern. Please see our website, cloudconsultancyllc.com. We have a blog and a recent webinar about recurring activities in Method and Aero. And finally, this time tracking tab will show you all of the actual time posted against this activity once your staff starts working on it. Now let's save and close this activity. And we'll go look at it on our work assignment. Refresh the grid. And here we have our new weekly payroll assignment. When our staff, in this particular case, it's assigned to us, when we accept the task and start the timer and perform our steps. As we complete each step, we can check it off, and the information about that step will copy down here to the time tracking notes. As we go, we can see that the links that we set up when we created this work assignment are showing here as icons. We have a green action icon telling us where we verify holiday pay here. It's a quick link to a Google holiday calendar. And we've also got here a help link. This shows us quick access to our documentation on how to perform this task. And when we're finished with this work, we can stop the timer and either defer or complete the task. We're back on the Manage tab. Let's look at another tool available to managers and owners. Let's say we want to add an activity for the same client that's similar to another work assignment activity. Sometimes it's easier, of course, to copy an activity and change just the parts of it that are different. Let's say we want to add a bonus payroll. We'll find this weekly payroll activity, the one that we just made, and we'll open it. Then we'll go to the More button and click Duplicate. This is going to create a new activity identical to the first one for this same client, in this case Delaney Designs. It will not copy any of the recurrence information, so we'll click OK to proceed. And now we can make changes to the duplicate. Let's change the activity name. Here with the income calculation, let's say that we're just going to do it one time this month, so the half hour it takes is going to be the whole half hour for the whole month. We'll set a date for it. Let's say today's date by default. That's fine. And we might want to change some of these steps. We won't have to verify holiday pay or timesheets. We'll just start with this fourth step. If you did want to set this as a recurring activity, this new copy, you could come to recurring dates and of course create a recurrence from here. In this situation, we're just going to save and close. And now we can navigate to the work assignment list and see that our new bonus payroll is here waiting for staff, in this case it's assigned to us, to work on it and complete this work. And we're back on the Manage tab again. Now let's talk about what are the tools available to us when we have an activity that we want to copy and use on other clients. To do this, let's add an activity to the Aero template library. Let's use the same weekly payroll activity. We'll find it and open it. We'll go to the More button again, and we'll click Library Template. This is going to copy it to the library as a template that we can use on other clients. We'll click OK and close that weekly payroll activity. Now we can navigate to Manage Library. Here's the Aero library of template activities. This is a list of all of the activities that are set up as templates. You can select one to view. Let's look for our weekly payroll. There we are. We can select it and we can view or modify the details. Notice that step 1 has been checked and we're now on step 2. We can click the steps link down below if we want to see all of the detail about each of the steps and the descriptions and action links and help links. You can make any changes to these fields, and if you do make a change, you could click Save Template. Whether or not you make any changes, once you finish saving them and you want to use this, click the Use Template button. You'll notice now that step 2 will be checked, and now we're on step 3. Now we're creating a new activity. We're going to pick the customer that we want to assign this to. In this case, let's assign this weekly payroll to our client Castle Creative, and we'll pick a contact that we work with there. Pick the billable status, make any other changes we may want. Let's assign this to us. And we can change any of the steps and set a recurrence if we want. For now, I'll click Save and New. Now we've created a payroll activity for Castle Creative by copying the activity and all of its steps and detail from the payroll activity that was assigned for Delaney Designs. Now we can look at our work assignment, refresh our grid, and see that we have a weekly payroll task for our client Castle Creative. So to summarize, adding work assignment activities is a great way to ensure that work is performed consistently. It gives your employees the resources they need to complete their work, and it allows you to keep a central bird's eye view and track the status of all of the work and the time associated to the work in your Manage Work screen. Thanks for joining us today, and check back soon for more videos on how to get the most out of Aero Workflow app.